Hello there guys, it's Joey and this is going to be a review for WytchenWood. Sort of a haul video as well I guess, but I recently purchased 4 items from WytchenWood who I have used before, and I purchased bindweed oil from them before, and I was really impressed with the energies attached to the bindweed oil in particular, and I thought the other day that I would order a few bits and pieces. One piece in particular I was really drawn to, and they actually recreated one for me, which was really good. But before I get into the bits and pieces I bought, how I feel about them and all the rest of it, sometimes when I do these sorts of videos, or if other people do these videos, the question arises, oh well, if you can make your own, if you can wildcraft your own, then why would you buy from someone else? Why would you buy from a witchy supplier? Meh, meh, meh. So first and foremost, in fact all of the items contain one kind of a bark, wood, however you want to put it, which is blackthorn. All of them do actually, and I haven't got access to blackthorn. There's possibly some in the hedgerow on the main road, but I don't really want to risk getting hit just to check it out, and it's not really safe for me to go look. So I don't have access to blackthorn that I'm aware of, that I've seen freely available in nature. So that is an element of everything that I've actually purchased. Then there's another element. I think it's a good thing to support other witchy supplies and shops and things that you believe in, that are worth supporting, and WytchenWood is one of the very few places where I have felt an energy, a real energy coming from their products, and to the standard that I would be pleased with my products. I want you to be able to feel an energy, and that energy is definitely there. Their presentation is beautiful. Their prices are reasonable for the most part. Some of the things I think are a little bit more than I would personally pay, but then it's dependent on the individual and the item and the rest of it. But the bits that I bought I'm happy with, and I'm, key to support them. I want to talk about them. I think they're good. And creating that sense of community is really important, and it is really important to me to make sure that we do financially support small businesses as well, particularly in the pagan market, because it can be really, really easy for these pagan places to go under, and then we don't have access to them, especially when online sellers are making it really difficult for people selling magical and spiritual and spell related items, as Etsy are threatening and all the rest of it to do. So that being said, it's also wonderful to get some witchy bits in the mail. I don't care. It's like, how wonderful is it when you get something witchy in the mail? It's just one of the best feelings in the world. It's just like, that's awesome. So there's that. Okie dokie, so down to the items. This first item is actually blackthorn spines, or thorns, and I had to show you them in the pack because I thought this was a really lovely way to send them. They actually sent them in a little envelope with the title on the front, and I thought that was lovely. I've had blackthorn spikes from other places, and they've just come in, plastic bags and stuff, and I don't mind plastic bags. I do that with my herbal blends because they're recyclable and resealable and all the rest of it, so I don't mind that. But I thought this was a lovely presentation. So from the Etsy page, and I'll put the link to the Etsy shop in the down bar as long as I remember, because my brain's a bit fuzzy. The spines of blackthorn have been used for centuries in the making of magic and can be used in many spell workings for defense, protection, and the infamous poppet. These blackthorn spines were collected from the Rollright Stone Circle, a place very special to us, as the woodsman doing pruning very kindly allowed me to do some of the cutting. This stone circle has associations with magic and with witchcraft for centuries. It's imbued with magic and mystery, and therefore so are the trees surrounding it. 1 second, I'm going to get a strepsil. Apologies. Strepsily goodness. And I did want to actually read to you a bit about Blackthorn from Earth Wisdom by Glennie Kindred. I think it's a lovely way of looking at it. Blackthorn has a misunderstood energy that teaches us to look beyond the surface and balance this with our intuition and a positive outlook. Everything that happens, even if it may look negative, may have a positive outcome and lead to fruitful change. There's always another way of looking at things. The thorns can represent our negative attitude, sharp and dangerous to our own spirit. Blackthorn thickets create good psychic barriers and teach us to be aware of when we must protect ourselves from malicious words or actions, especially regarding to other people. Blackthorn teaches us that every moment in every situation we have a choice. A choice is positive, supporting love and life, the other negative being destructive. So I also got Blackthorn Slow Oil. And if you don't know what slow is the berries. So, oh, I haven't actually shown you the spines. They're really impressive. Hang on. This is where my brain's at. So, ooh, come on, out you come. Is that all of you? Right. So they're a good size. They're big. They're bigger than I've had from other places. I was really impressed. I mean, you know, it's huge. And then this is the oil. The Blackthorn Slow Oil. So that's the berries, and there's actually berries in there. I hope you can see. And I will read to you from the store. I will load it. 1 moment. This is a very potent oil of justice, revenge, cursing and dark magic for the dark half of the year. It combines the thrice infused oils of blackthorn and the sloe. The winter fruit of the blackthorn does not come along very often. The winter fruiting blackthorn is associated with the underworld initiations and contacting the ancestors for rites concerning the Dark Mother, the Morrigan. This very potent oil can help open the gateway to the Dark Mother and her secrets, and sloe is known as the increaser of secrets. Blackthorn has a long history of being used to blast out a curse or revenge in the direction of a foe, but it is also used to blast out justice or rightful justice or wrathful justice, depending on your perspective. Very protective, the protection afforded by the blackthorn is impenetrable and allows nothing to gain entry. This gives a clear indication of the potency of the wall of protection that can be manifested with the aid of blackthorn to create a safe boundary from which to communicate with the ancestors in the world of spirit while safeguarding us from those spirits that are less than pleasant or wish to be harmful to us. It is not an oil to be used without conviction. It is a very powerful blend. There is notes somewhere on the site as well about Sleeping Beauty being surrounded by blackthorns and the spikes, and only the pure of heart could pass through. So I did like that imagery. I'm just going to pop the blackthorn spines in while we talk about why I wanted these items in particular. So they are a Morrigan energy, not for the faint of heart. A lot of people are willful in their misunderstanding of the blackthorn tree and fearful, and I guess it kind of, to me, resonates around the idea of how people are fearful of the Morrigan and misrepresent her and all that sort of thing. So there are a number of things that I will be doing with Blackthorn. I think it's absolutely fabulous for protection, as has been said. You know, it won't allow any crap through, and it's just a lovely, lovely oil. And I think this is the one that smells nice. 1 minute. Yeah, it actually has this really pleasing scent, which is weird. Like, you expect like the big scary oils to be like and mean and nasty, but it's actually really pleasant to me. Maybe that's just me being odd. I have a real affinity for thorn-based trees in particular. I can connect to thorn-based trees really, really well. I have a connection and a relationship with my own hawthorn tree, and whenever I go anywhere near hawthorn trees, are like, hello, and they'll start speaking to me energetically wise straight away. And it's a real shame to me that I can't find a blackthorn tree, so maybe that's the next stage of my journey at some point. Finding a blackthorn tree will be part and parcel of going forward. I think that's probably what's going to happen. I have that inkling, that feeling. It's also really wonderful going into the dark half of the year and being that we're coming up to Samhain and communicating with spirits and the veil being thin. You need that level of protection that you're not going to get yourself into any sorts of trouble. I have natural goddess given abilities to see spirits, and it's always been there, and it sometimes can be one of those things that, you know, it can be a little bit troublesome, a little bit irksome, a little bit unsettling on occasion. So it's good to have a magical practice where you keep your protection up, you keep yourself in a safe spot and really surround yourself. And I just love thorn energy. I think it's amazing. I really, really enjoy it. So on that same note, I also got some good riddance powder. This also contains blackthorn, which is why I bought it, because yes, I can create my own get riddance oil or powder. Trust me, I don't need to purchase one from someone else, but as things stand, I've been quite unwell recently, physically unwell. Partner brought more bugs into the house. And I was like, okay, I'm feeling a bit crap, and this might be a really good way of combining a little bit of spell work to really get rid of anything that's coming into the house while my energy is a bit depleted, or why I don't feel up to the big cleansing, the big punchy magical workings. Now, this being said, I've never had any problems in this house. Morrigan will keep an eye on me if I need it, and woe betide anyone that messes with her. And spirit guides will forget it. They're all quite close to me right now, and they're quite protective when I'm sick. So I don't have that worry about it, but I think it's good after you've been sick to do some real good riddance energy. You know, get rid of that sickness, get rid of that vibe that hangs around after you've been sick. It's the same when someone passes in the house, and there's the tradition of a deep house cleansing. It's kind of Japanese, actually. That is a Japanese tradition, but it exists in our English traditions as well, to have a good cleansing and to free the energy from any sickness that has been in the house and dragging the energy down, and the worry and the fear and all the rest of it attached to sickness. And I am terrible when I'm ill. I get really agitated. I don't want to be ill for a second, because I want to be doing things. I want to be crafting, I want to be working, I want to be sorting the store out, and when I can't do any of that, it drives me nuts. So having a good riddance energy can really help. I'm going to read to you what its blurb is from the store. 60 mils. Banish and expel anything undesired or unwanted. They suggest ways of using it, such as throw it into a fire while naming what is undesired and let the smoke carry it away, cast into a flowing river and let that, or the sea, and let that be carried away, throw it to the wind and let that blow it from your life. It can also be rubbed into an image or representation to be cast out before the representation is disposed of in whichever manner you see befitting. So, it can be used, of course, in a number of ways. It can be used to, like, cleanse yourself of situations. It can be to get rid of certain individuals within your life if you agree with that kind of direct magic. I'm not even getting into it. It's up to each individual and how they in particular feel about it. Me, I'm going to be using it as a good get riddance for sickness and any nasty ick that's in the house because of sickness. I want that all out. I want a good fresh cleanse, and it has blackthorn in it amongst other bits and pieces. It has a very pleasant scent again. And I quite like their labelling. I mean, it's the standard amber jars that a lot of people go for because they're easily to, you can get hold of them quite easily. But I quite like their packaging. I think it's quite good. Right, so the big thing that I purchased from them, and Safari has gone to sleep, so we will just click Safari again. No, don't go to sleep again. iPads, I swear. I want you to bring up my information, please. Thank you. Right, so this, I saw one and it had gone, and I emailed them like, and I'd literally just put an order in. And I was like, oh god, I should have hung on for a bit, but never mind. Are you going to have any more? And they were like, yeah, I can make you one for 2 days later. And I was like, oh, okay. That's quick. I'm impressed. Yes, please. And so 2 days later, one was available to me. And this is a Winter Queen Blackthorn Goblin's Cross. Right. So. I will just put that up that way so you can see. Right, and I've already read to you that the blackthorn in winter is associated with the Morrigan, so this is very much about Mama, I think. Mama was like, I think we need one of those. And I was like, I think we do, Mama, I think we do. Should we get one? Yeah, let's get one. I have very strange conversations with my goddess here. Okie dokie, the amulet is made from blackthorn and is created to protect the home and its occupants. It measures approximately 10 inches from the top to the ammonite fossil at the base. So this is an ammonite fossil. The Goblin Cross has 6 blackthorn spines around its central stave to shred anything harmful that it traps. There are 3 blackthorn sloes, berries, hanging from the base to add extra potency to the overall amulet, and it is finished with a naturally hold ammonite fossil. Ammonites were displayed, carried or worn as amulets for warning off all evil by the Anglo-Saxons, and has a long history in our country of protection. In our country, meaning England. The centre is wrapped in silk thread, red again for formidable protection. Blackthorn is not... Oh, here's the Sleeping Beauty side of it. Blackthorn is not all about the darker side of sorcery, it is also extremely protective. The thicket that hid Sleeping Beauty was made of blackthorn, and only the hero of the purest intent and heart could pass through it unscathed. Those whose hearts were not so pure and intentions were less than honourable found themselves snared in the blackthorn's vicious spines with their flesh torn. The protection afforded by the blackthorn is impenetrable and allows nothing to gain entry. This gives a clear indication of the potency of the wall protection that can be manifested with the aid of blackthorn, and it is regularly used to create safe boundaries from which to communicate with the ancestors and spirits, while safeguarding us from those spirits that are less than pleasant or helpful. It is also used to protect us from those people who would do us harm or would have us believe that they could cause us harm. The winter fruiting blackthorn is associated with the underworld and underworld initiations. the Kaliak or Morrigan, the Winter Queen, announces the arrival of winter with the bang of her ancient Blackthorn stang upon the ground, and we are plunged back into the dark half of the year with its cold and bitter weather. So, I saw this and I was like, I need one. And usually when, and yeah, Mum is here. Mum has got her hands on my back. That tickles. Sorry, just this huge woomph of energy right down my spine. So yeah, I have had this feeling that Mama was very much like, I think we need a third one of a particular kind of a protective charm. The other two, I've made one and I bought the other one from someone I trust as protective charms, and this, oh, I've just realised that all three of my protective charms are made from ogum materials, and they're all three protective ogums, very protective ogums, and it's life, death and rebirth. Yeah, it definitely is life, death and rebirth. Oh wow. So my three amulets are life, death and rebirth that I will have hung around my home, in my windows and things. So I actually have that trip. This makes the triple. It makes the triple protect. Probably is that element of each element of the Morrigan for life, death and rebirth, for Maiden with a Crone. However you wish to perceive those energies, the triple is often used, and it's an important number within Celtic mythos. So that's why I purchased it, and apparently it was a big doozy, which I apparently missed with the triple ogum protective rebirth, death and life magic going on. So it's going to be wonderful. That's creating a lovely energy into. So I'm going to be cleansing out all that sickness energy and setting up another layer of protection, which is wonderful. So as to the item itself, now I've blathered on enough. They do have some in store which are slightly different. I've just noticed they have one which is the same sort of design, but it's much lighter and solar based. So if you're into that sort of thing, there is one of those in store currently. I really, really love this item, and this is one of these things where arguably, yes, I could have made this myself. However, I don't have access to the Blackthorn very easily, so it would have meant going and purchasing some of the Blackthorn, and by that point you've spent more than the item cost to buy it from someone who I already knew had a lovely energy attached to their spell oil that I purchased last time, and there is a lovely energy to, a potent energy to these items that I've bought from this time. The Blackthorn has such a wonderful energy to it, as well as a visual. I love this visual. This goblin, is it Goblin Cross that they call it? Yeah, Goblin's Cross, Winter Queen, Morrigan. So it was right up my street. It was Morrigan, Winter Crone, and it had this really, really unusual sort of star-based. Oh, it's just, I loved it. I thought it was. There's something about the shape that really, really speaks to me. I may go and research the shape a bit more and see if there's actually something going on. And the fact the tips have been filed, I love that. I think that's a beautiful, intricate detail. I love the little knoblets on the wood. I wasn't overly fussed about the beading on the end. I think this is actually slightly different to the beading on the one at Ice, the original one. I like this beading better. This beading is okay with me. It's blue and red, and with the fossil on the end is cool. The berries are cool. I'm not the biggest fan of like the little beading technique like that. It's not something I particularly go for, but I'm happy with it. You know, it's nice enough. The colours are nice enough. It does add a little something to it, so it adds length to it. all the rest of it. So I don't mind the beading too much. It's maybe wouldn't have been my absolute first choice. I would have probably been happy with the charm by itself, but that's just me being finicky, and just I'm a bit odd about things like certain styles. Certain things appeal to me visually, certain things don't. That's just a quirk of me, I guess. But I'm really, really happy with the item. I think it's beautiful. I'm happy with all of the items. So it was all Blackthorn related, basically, as you can tell. And I was super, super excited when it came in the post. It came really quickly. The delivery was quick. The communication was good. Well, the communication was excellent. I have absolutely no complaints whatsoever. I think it was a really, really good experience. So they are Witch&Wood on Etsy. They're UK based. So if you're in the UK, if you're looking for things like of that nature, a little bit witchy, they're a little bit on the hedge witch side, which I really appreciate. That's, you know, a road I'm going down more and more these days, and I love it. The packaging is typical hedge witch style. You know, the ambery things and the amber bottles, which I'm fine with. Again, it's personal preference, but the energies are really, really wonderful, and I have zero complaints. I think it's been wonderful, and I'm going to be cleansing and rebirthing my protective charm. Looking forward to doing that. And I think that's everything. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if this is your sort of product, absolutely go check them out. I really enjoyed them, and I'm really happy to support them as a fellow seller of magical items. I think it's really important to present people to the community who have the same ethics as you do in your business, because that's really important to me, that, you know, magical items have that power, that energy, that you believe in them wholeheartedly, and I won't sell anything that I don't wholeheartedly believe in, and that to me seems exactly the ethical guideline presented by Witch&Wood as well. So yeah, so that's it for this video. Many blessings.